Alright, so for this Master Mode playthrough, right now we're going to go ahead and challenge the Surly Barkeep at the Cloudy Dreggs Inn. For this encounter, we're going to be using Control Spell Sword. There's a couple of reasons we're doing that. Number one, we have the Liquid Courage lane, so when a creature takes damage over there, it gets +2/+0. And this deck has a lot of high health creatures to take advantage of taking some damage and surviving. The other reason that we're going to be playing Control Spell Sword for this is because both players start with a support card, and you'll get to see that in a moment, that represents broken bottles flying around. So as you can see, at the start of your turn, deal 1 damage to a random enemy, and we want to hopefully remove the one that our opponent has, because that would actually mean that we still get the benefit and they don't. And so we have Shadowfen Priests, we have Edicts of Azura. We don't want this to keep growing, so we're going to execute this now as opposed to playing a minion. But this is a pretty traditional Spellsword control list. Of course, immediately punished because we used our execute, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and drop a Dark Guardian over there. So now he has to use... Oh, he used the bolt. I was going to say the tome, but he instead used the lightning bolt. That's pretty good for us. If we drop the Defiler here now, the unfortunate side effect of that is that he will, in fact, just trade with the tome, right? So we're going to go ahead and do this. Take the 33% chance, risk. Did not survive. That's kind of a bummer. Alright, so now we do have support removal. Thankfully that took that out. That's actually favorable for us. We're going to go ahead and use Edict here so that we don't have to deal with that shenanigans. And take this trade. So now we're just going to keep, hopefully, racking up value with our broken bottles. Now the downside is that the Surly Barkeep does have a lot of things that benefit from taking damage. So destroying his is beneficial for us in this matchup, but having ours and not being able to get rid of it is a bit of a burden. As you can see, he's going well out of his way to take advantage of it. Alright, so there's a couple of different ways that we can handle this. Trading with the 2/2 feels lackluster. He's going to take this trade here and get a fair amount of breakthrough damage through. We cannot Dawn's Wrath, however, until next turn, so I actually think that we Night Shadow over here and take the trade before he gets the chance to break through. Because we are going to Dawn's Wrath over here. That's actually a play mistake. What we probably should have done is attacked first, because now I'm deciding that I think we're just going to attack and crack the rune, so we should not have played this, because we could have been punished by a prophecy. Not that he dies to lightning bolt, but a harpy, for example, would be a bad time. Alright, so he wards the Shornhelm. Again, we take the breakthrough damage as we expected. Not much we can do. We are setting up for Dawn's Wrath over there, though. So we just need this to not hit the Conjurer. Cross your fingers. It did not. So let's go ahead and gain some health back. Dawn's Wrath. Pass the turn. So we're looking pretty good. We have the execute for over there, but in all honesty, we kind of just want the free drain. I think. Shadow Lane, so we can't hit that anyway. I think that we just want the free drain, and then we can also drop a Blood Magic Lord to potentially either eat this if he doesn't trade, though I'd be shocked if he didn't, or just eat something else. You know what? For that reason alone, because he's going to likely trade here, we're just going to gain some life, and we're actually going to Blood Magic here. That way, if he tries to contest this lane, we can immediately trade in. That is the better course of action. Oh, well, I was wrong. He's going to ward it and save his guy. We do have Manticore to answer that, though, so it's not a huge deal. That's beneficial. I was actually considering going face, but now I guess we have to eat something. If we drew something like a Javelin or an Edict, I would have considered actually not playing Manticora on him, because we have so many other good actions that we could take. You know, we actually might still not even Manticora there, because we have Execute as an option. We're going to have 2 Blood Magic spells. Let's go ahead and start with this Slay, see what we got. Yeah, I think we're actually going to instead just shackle that, because we can take this action, this action, this action, and then shackle this down. Not that we're in a position where the 5 damage actually matters, but just in case he has some sort of weird burst. This sets us up nicely. Alright, so that's pretty fantastic. We do still have Manticora as an option, but what do we have in our grave? I apologize, the deck list is covering the grave because it's so long. We do have Night Shadow that we could get back, which would probably seal this up pretty well. So we're going to go ahead and mummify the 7/5.
I wasn't looking for trouble.
Trade in here with the Defiler to get our Night Shadow.
I am a child of darkness.
You don't get to pick where it goes when you summon it, just for the record, if you're not familiar with that interaction. And then we're going to also Hunger over here. Might as well win Keep for giggles, and then we'll go ahead and shackle that again. He doesn't have many cards left. No reason to not shackle. Gonna hit that. Freeze here. Probably trade as well. Buys him some time. We're still looking fine. We've got inevitability with the bottles alone, but even more so when you factor in things like Manticora. In looking this list over, the one thing I think I'm missing is I wouldn't have minded a Lucian. And I say that strictly because it buffs Manticora, buffs Blood Magic Lord when he slays Defiler. Alright, and that is Master Surly Barkeep at the end. Hopefully this helps, and I'm going to do some more tutorial walkthrough videos, so keep an eye out for those.